Welcome to Wise Beyond Culture podcast. I'm your host, Diego.
And I'm your host, Sony.
C'est un plaisir. Et pour nous capables monter plateforme ça pour nous dialoguer ensemble.
Right. Welcome to episode 2
Yes.
of Wise Beyond Culture.
And if you haven't watched the first episode, I would advise you to go back and watch it, you know, because that's where we explain the idea, the focus of this podcast.
And what we hope to bring to you with this podcast. So go ahead and watch episode 1 and then come back and catch up with us with episode 2.
Yes.
Right.
Parce que dans podcast ça, dans episode 2, that's where we want to tell you guys who we are.
Who we are.
Yeah.
Right. Who we are behind this project, right? Who we are. Well, let's start with saying who we are as individuals. I am a friend, a daughter, a mother, a counselor.
Yeah.
Right? Not pasta women, anything interior design. I like decorating. I like putting things together. Regardless how it looks. I would find a way to make it look good. When it comes to interior design.
And
so I
she's
enjoy.
good. She's really good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I enjoy. I find myself doing, when I'm doing that putting pieces together, it's always beautiful. I love playing soccer. I love watching soccer. And I think that's one of the things we have in common because we watch and play.
We watch soccer together. So and we used to play soccer together too.
Right. And we still do every now and then.
Yeah. So moi c'est un dad, husband. Moi j'ai un background music. Et puis moi vraiment regarder soccer. Moi jouer soccer too. So that's my favorite game. Yeah.
Right.
To watch and play.
Watch and play. Right.
Yeah. That's where I find myself.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, that's who we are individually. Well, together we are a couple.
Yes.
A young couple. Well, let's start with how we met. It's a very interesting story, I'm sure.
C'est pour ça que nous venons là, je dis, pour nous capables de faire tirer aller, pour nous expliquer qui est-ce nous est. Et comment nous faire rencontrer, comment mystère ça fait commencer.
Right.
Yeah. Vous voulez commencer?
Yeah, vamos commencer. Qui j'en fait rencontrer? Nous rencontrer dans un programme, right? Nous t'es allé dans même l'école. Un groupe qui nous fait partie de l'International Student Association l'école là. Puis il y a un monde dans l'école là qui te organise une fête.
Yeah.
Qui invite nous dans fête là, mais fête là.
C'était une fille tout le monde ça.
Yeah, on dit dame.
Yes.
From Taiwan. She was from Taiwan.
Yes.
Purpose fête là, c'était pour mettre différentes cultures, différents groupes ensemble.
And I hope she's watching this podcast too.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll get to this. This episode will get to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she organized the party and she invited us.
Yeah.
And she invited people from different countries, Jamaica, Africa, different countries in Africa. It was a very, mixed party event. And in this event, like people from different cultures bring food and stuff, different dishes for us to try. And at this party, when I remember when I got there, she was like, hey, I have another Haitian, someone else from Haiti. I want you to meet.
Yeah.
And she introduced me to you, right? And that's where we met. We started talking, right? And you were like, well, and I think we were the only two Haitians at the party.
Yes.
We were the only two Haitians at the time. So she introduced us, and then we started talking. One question say, let the Haitian rencontrer. Usually the first question is, koto sorti Haiti?
Man, koto sorti.
Right.
Yeah. Ou manger maï moulé. Moi j'ai dit sauce pois légumes. Yeah. Et où qu'on côté ça, Delma, Pétionville, et qui m'a sorti? Et m'a sorti m'a sorti la plaine et ou même.
Et ou même famille,
Yeah.
Especially dans le tour de fête Haïti, right?
Yeah.
Ou essayer à connecter avec histoire la caille.
Après ça, il m'a demandé aussi haïtien, on parle créole.
On parle créole. I think that was, which is normal, right? Which is normal. Parce que en pile haïtien, haïtien pas parler créole, right?
Yeah.
So en pile fois, you want to set the tone
Yeah.
of the meeting so you could know koto ka flow. Parce que créole, en pile fois, on rencontre moun la caille.
Et puis,
la caille.
il m'a dit comme ça. Dis un petit créole, m'entendez? Moi, je parle créole là, man. Ou madame, côté me sorti à Haïti. Et puis, je parle créole, ou nous dit me parler créole encore. Comprends? Moi, c'est funny, man. Anyway, let's get to the story.
Let's get to the story. Yeah, when we met, like we said, the conversation was, where are you from in Haiti? Where are your family from? Combien de temps on gagne ici? That's usually how the conversations started. So yeah, combien de temps on gagne ici? What do you do?
Yeah.
But funny thing is, na fête ça, dans même groupe international students ça, l'école là, groupe ça, c'est un groupe qui gagne ti moun nan presque qui dans l'école dans toute zone là. So that's when we figure out nous aller dans même l'école. We didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Parce que te gen trois différentes l'écoles dans zone là.
Yes, you're right.
But the international committee couvre tous les trois l'écoles yo.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time when you meet someone in a conversation you find out which school.
Yes.
We go to.
Yes.
So
c'est là ça nous vient connecter ensemble tout parce que nous venons dans la même école et puis nous venons chercher côté l'autre hier dans l'école là.
Right.
Est-ce que vous comprenez? So nous venons connecter plus.
Nous venons connecter plus, get to know each other.
Yeah. From there, après nous fait connaissance. Et puis nous venons rencontrer outside of the international group. Now nous venons solo.
Right. They Haitian rencontrés.
Yes. Nous venons parler en téléphone tout et puis dialoguer.
Yeah, nous venons exchange numbers.
Nous venons exchange numbers.
And then nous connaissons l'école là. Nous venons parler.
Yeah.
But it was nothing on my end. I have to let you guys know. To me, it was just a Haitian that I met at school.
So, nous venons commencer à raconter la meaning, pas ça?
Right.
Nous venons raconter la meaning parce que nous ne pouvons pas rencontrer un garçon avec une fille rencontrer ensemble et puis pour nous juste amis. Vous comprenez?
That was your idea.
Bon,
I was fine being just friend.
Yes. Bon, mes amis, vous ne pouvez pas rencontrer une belle petite madame comme ça et puis pour regarder le manger. Vous comprenez? Il faut faire petit parler, il faut faire oreilles douces. Vous comprenez? So, c'est comme ça. Et nous venons.
Yeah, you invited me out.
Yes. Nous venons inviter pour une date. Et puis, m'a songé premier date, nous étions allés son parc. Nous étions allés faire un petit marché. Et puis, parce que où tu travail, et nous travail tout. Et nous sommes obligés de rencontrer après travail.
Yeah, after work.
Et after 5, right? So, quand on est allé ça, on commence à partir de notre tatou. So, c'est tant ça on te gagne.
Right. Yeah.
So, nous venons parler dans date. Et puis, c'est comme ça, venons,
get to know each other.
Puis, expliquer belle demoiselle là, comment moi feel pour lui. Comprends? Et puis, demoiselle là commence à filmer tout. Pas ça? Ah, dis pas, la j'en dis, mon cher. Parce que si pas de film, on peut pas parler dans deuxième date avec, pas ça?
I know, but you know, I think it's caprice too.
Yeah, c'est ça, haïtien nous fait même. Comprends? C'est capricité. Comprends? So, you aimez jouer. Quand tu joues, tu comment? Et la go caché.
Right.
So, sous son garçon haïtien, on pas de patience, on pas qu'à causer avec femme ça. C'est qu'on y a bagay yo on ti j'avine pi facile man. So longtemps faut qu'on capable et faire bagay qui la acoustiche. Comprendre faut gain talent man. Faut son qui galant.
Faire
poésie. Faut capable faire acoustiche avec nos femmes non. Comprendre prendre non et puis des soni, pour prendre S là pour dire c'est soleil la vie. So tout bagay ça yo. But kounya là, bah yo bien facile. So messieurs jeune bagay yo ti jan pi facile. So mesdames yo changer game non. Et longtemps.
It wasn't like that.
Faut qu'on capable montrer fille ça que ou son garçon qui galant.
Right, with words.
Qui galant et puis qui connaît parler. Vous comprenez?
Yeah.
Qui jeune gens.
Right.
Ou pas de capable n'importe qui gens parce que fille l'été qu'on a jugé ou sous différents aspects. Fille a regardé ou comment parler, comment marcher, comment comporter corps. Vous comprenez?
Right.
But qu'on a bagay changer.
Right. And ça tout cause it takes a little bit longer pour une relation for me because we spent a little bit more time getting to know each other.
Yes. So, nous venons aller dans date pour comment on dit ça?
A few dates.
A few dates. Et puis, Nap koze, kompon? So, baga la vin, mte komanse vin patient tout, paske mwen tap tan pou dim ke, ok, oui, paske lontan, fok ou tan oui ya, paske oui ya, sete klepot lan, se klepot pou antre, kompon? Depi fi a do oui, sa ve li di, this is the key to my city.
Yeah, ou bon.
This is the key to my life. You know? Mam ki ton explike pati sa, kote ke nou ta nan denye date.
Yes.
Date nou ta ale, se pa mwen ki te invite ou nan date sa.
Right.
Paske mwen fin fè tout travay pou mte fè ya. Paske mwen getan koze, mwen fè tout pote fleur. Vous comprenez? Mwen fè tout sa pou mte fè. Vous comprenez? Et mwen komanse fatigué. Vous comprenez? Komanse senti mbaka kouri nan rest sa anko. Rest sa trop long.
Right.
Ou te vine invite m nan denye date.
Mwen invite nan denye date, which was
Paske
strange to you.
m pense ke ou pral, m sot la kama avek motivasyon, m di, ok, this is the day. I'm gonna get the key to the city. I'm gonna get the key to Sony's life. Right? So,
and unfortunately, that did not happen.
Man.
Yeah, I invited him on a date, which was strange to him because tout date nou tale avan yo, se ou menm gite inisye yo.
Yeah.
But this one, I said, what?
Esa le toujou ye, right? Esa le toujou ye, so gason tout toujou, you know, invite final date, take charge.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. When I invited you out on this date, and we decided to meet at the same park that we had our first date.
Yeah.
Right? And when we got there, it's interesting because something happened in between that time. Parce que kon konversasyon mene connection.
Yeah.
We had the connection, but I just felt like you weren't serious. We were not in the same page mentally.
Yeah.
You know, it's things that I wanted. I don't think you were ready to provide. So for me, that date was a date for me to kind of let you know, hey, I don't think this is going to work. Which is not what you expected. You thought it was going to be something totally different.
Yes. Sam ka di, you're right. Kone. Neg fek, ali nan kolej. E pi, nou vin nan mindset kote ke nou pa pre pou vweman tako, par exemple, pou an relasyon ki vweman tako pou serye nan relasyon. Est-ce que vous comprenez? So, paske nou nan laj kote ke jè nou tout kote. Est-ce que vous comprenez? C'est gon laj nou ye, e sa fè tako lontan, gwa moun toujou di ti medam yo, pran san ou. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Paske ti mesye yo, gon laj ke nou ye, laj sa se explorateur nou ye. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Nap explore. We want to travel the world. We want to see things. Est-ce que vous comprenez? So, nou la fin pali a fisa la, ti demoiselle sa la fin koze, et puis nou just takou pa gen yon posisyon ki exact.
Right.
Vous comprenez? So, c'est nan moment sa lem te rencontre avec ou. So, mwen pat vraiment konen ki sa mble objektif mwen, ki sa mble fè vraiment.
Right.
But seulement, sa mwen mon belle demoiselle ke mwen reme. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Nou ta reme et mette bel bijou sa nan koum. Est-ce que vous comprenez? So, c'était dans mindset ça qui me.
Yeah, and I think I saw that through our conversations. I wanted more. That's not what I wanted at the time. So I invited you on this date. My purpose for this date was to just say, no, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
We're not on the same page. Let's just be friends.
I was so mad. And I left.
I
left you at the park. I left you because you wasted my time, right? And you asked me to come out, and I was home doing my thing. She asked me, hey, what are you doing? And I said, no, I'm not doing anything,
Yeah, so meet me at the park.
Yes, when she said that, I said, man, okay, I'm coming right now. And then when I got there, you already know.
Right.
I don't have time for this.
Right. So I told you, hey, this is not going to work. I don't think nous voulons même bagay. So let's just be friends. You were not happy with the idea of being friends.
I said, say no more.
So you got up and left.
I left.
That wasn't nice.
So what happened after that?
You left. After that, you left. We stopped talking. We stopped talking
for a long time.
I deleted your number. We were done. We stopped talking for like a year or two.
Yeah.
But we would still see each other at school.
Yes.
So un peu passé.
We were like enemies.
Yeah.
Let's say it like that.
Yeah, même salut, monsieur a pas salué.
Yeah.
That was not nice, Diego.
Yeah.
That was not nice.
Yeah.
Il passe, m'passe, ou après l'an classe ou m'en l'an classe moi, nous ou l'autre, même mon salutation bagan. Right? So I went on for like a year or two. Ou vin a fait la vie, ou I don't know what you, par contre ça m'a réglé. Moi-même tout, vin a vivre la vie, mais par contre ça m'a réglé. And that was that. That was the end of our interaction.
Yeah.
And then one day.
Ooh, one day. Tell me about it.
You tell me about it. So one day, you randomly, we saw one of those days, we saw each other at the school again. You came and you tapped on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Right? I was sitting
Yes,
down
I did.
on the computer. Right?
I did.
And you came, you tapped on my shoulder and you said, I'll call you later.
Of course.
Mind you, nous pas parlé pour 2 ans, so I don't have your number. I don't know if you still have my number, but what went to my head is, call me later for what?
Yeah.
Right?
Let me explain that. Ou sonje m'tap di que mon pat ready. Lem te fait rencontrer, right? So, après 2 ans, so gan pile et évolution, un pile changement qui fait. Right? So, nous vin ap entrer ap gen maturité qui vient rentrer. Nous commençons à comprendre qui direction nous voulons aller. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Parce que après nous fin faire des rencontres, right? Meeting so many people. Now, nous commençons à un petit genre filter. Right? So qui est et nous t'arrêtons comme tu as dit ça. Nous t'arrêtons
Settle?
Yeah. Nous t'arrêtons coup par exemple pour settle. Right?
Okay.
So c'est dans même bagay ça tant que par exemple jeune fille, jeune garçon qui attendait gen un l'âge qui ouye ou ka avec un monde, but that doesn't mean c'est à monde ça que ou pralier 2 years later.
Right, that's true.
So that's why m'pas dit que pour pas avec un monde, mais you have to be careful
And know what you want.
and know what you want. And gen bagay ki ou si ou ouve tout cœur ba moun kon ya, later on ou ka get hurt. So that's what happened to me when I met you. I was not ready. But now 2 years later, moi commencé m'ka di vin non stage dans la vie, moi côté que moi commencé lonely. Lonely, c'est parce que parfois gen zami qui ou gagné, you pas là. Tout temps pour ou. Vous comprenez?
Right.
So ou commencer besoin yon moun que ou capable relé à n'importe moment. Et si ou pas feel good, lem di pas feel good ou malade, moun sa ou connaît que ap là pour
Right.
no matter what. Est-ce que vous comprenez ça me dit là?
Right.
So c'est comme ça moi vin non moment dans la vie, moi vin ap comprendre parler avec bon Dieu. Je commençais à parler à bon Dieu. Je commençais à dire God, I need someone. I need someone. C'est dans même époque ça et moi vinn rencontrer dans l'école là, dans côté qui était les learning comme un center, right? So c'est là nous vinn rencontrer et c'est avec toute confidence ça moi vinn tap on your back. Moi dit
I'll call you later.
I will call you later.
Wow. You know what? It's interesting that you said lonely. Because I too, moi-même tout, I went through a season, m'a sonje c'était au mois février.
Yeah.
That I remember. Et puis m'a sonje là ça c'était right after Saint-Valentin. Like a few days later.
Yeah.
Et puis m'a sonje là, m'pas son Saint-Valentin triste, m'pas son Saint-Valentin seul.
Yeah.
Right? And I started to question, I started to feel, I also was feeling the loneliness of the need to be with someone.
Yeah.
And then that's when you know, a few days later we met and you tapped my shoulder.
Yeah.
But still, when you said you were going to call me later, I didn't think nothing of it. You know, my whole thing was, call me later for what? You know, that was my idea. Because when you said, I didn't even give you my number again.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know if you still had my number or how you know, how was that, you know, I didn't even know if you were telling the truth.
Yeah. But I had your number.
Okay.
I had it somewhere.
Okay.
And, you know, ça qui est interesting, the story, ça, c'est parce que m'a demandé bon Dieu pour moi, pour le faire meet yon moun, right? Yon moun spécial. But they lead me to you again.
Wow.
Est-ce que vous comprenez?
That's powerful.
So, les moi rencontre dans learning center dans l'école là, c'est moi pas même dans idéologie ça à côté que moi pral relo, m'pral retourner tant qu'on a sens pour moi sous même focus noté et l'intérêt contraire. C'est pas un focus ça m'était. Action a juste fait. Pour moi-même, c'est juste bon Dieu qui travaille.
Right. Divine.
Bon Dieu juste connecter nous ensemble encore.
Right.
Ouais, ça me dit là?
Right.
Quand y a nous venons parler dans le téléphone.
Yeah, so you did call. You called later.
I did.
I received a call. I didn't know who it was. But what was interesting with that call was it was a moment of closure.
Yeah.
Because that day you walked away
Yes.
from the park.
Yeah.
We never got closure. So I never really got a chance to tell you, hey, because this felt like it was going to flow. You know, at first, the relationship, it felt like we were going to have something going on.
C'est ça que moi vinn réaliser tant que façon moi vinn quitter dans parc là. C'est me feel like man, I'm pas supposé faire ça. Est-ce que vous comprenez? So c'est ça m'avait expliqué maturité a vinn come later. Est-ce que vous comprenez? So c'est la raison ça l'aime dit ma prélo là, moi vinn tant que par exemple vle et corriger ou bien
Closure.
Yeah, tant que par exemple présenter une excuse pour ça qui t'est passé. Vous comprenez?
Right. Yeah, I think that was the focus of that conversation. You know, it was to find closure, to kind of talk about what happened. It's interesting that it took us 2 years though.
Man.
2 years.
Yeah, but
To just talk about what happened.
2 years and ou pas engagé. Pas engagé. C'est comme si bon Dieu t'a saved nous
For
each other.
Wow.
You see that?
Right. Interesting.
So now nous venons rencontrer encore. Nous venons retourner et n'aller dans
A couple other dates after.
Right?
After that night, that
But
conversation.
it's funny. We not on date, but c'est pas pour dire que par exemple, comme tu as dit, nous venons parler de ça qui t'est passé yo. Nous venons dire man, what happened? C'est comme si nous feel like man, comme si somebody qui just passé tant qu'on on va y qu'on dit qui fait vite, right? So moment ça just passé, but now nous venons rencontrer 2 years later. C'est là ça. Ni moi-même ni eux-mêmes, c'est comme si gon maturité, c'est comme si nous venons rencontrer at the right
time. Yes. Parce qu'après conversation ça, you sounded a lot more mature and from conversating with you, there was growth. You know, I feel like the answers to my questions were a lot more solid. You know, and I think that's what pushed me to go on a few other dates with you.
Yes, and ça que moi t'ai réalisé, comme si moi ou vinn l'autre monde tout. Ou vinn dire, that's not the same person I met, 2 years ago, right? That's a different person. And then commencer et gon lumière, gon lumière qui vient pour venir dans l'esprit moi qui vient me dire wow, maybe that's why God lead me to you. Sans forcer, tout bagay commencer pour aller naturally.
Naturally.
Right? Bagay flow. Nous vin pas arrêter sans l'autre encore.
Right.
Et nous vin par exemple vin aller en date more often.
More often.
Right?
Yeah, and we started dating not too long after that.
Not too long after that. Parce que nous tous étaient soif l'autre. Right? Faut dire la gens lire mon cher. Nous tous étaient soif l'autre. Madame n'a été seule, il était lonely and I was lonely too. Nous venons côté en force. Right?
Right.
Nous venons côté en force et somebody qui était divine.
Right. That kind of drive the relationship.
Yes.
Because I felt like at that point we both knew what we wanted, in life, and and we were able to talk about some of those things. We were able to kind of even plan out some things together. But after that, so we started dating.
Yes.
Right, and then around the same year, I believe, if not a few months after that, you were graduating.
Yeah.
Right? Ou vin apral move non lot.
Man, I had to leave.
Non lot zone.
That's the sad part.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you graduated. And pou vin arrive move non lot zone ki 4 hours away.
Not state.
Non lot state, right? Ki 4 hours away from me. So we had a long distance relationship for that time frame. It was hard.
Very.
Being away from each other for that long.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy for us to see
So
each other.
you were still in school.
I was still in school, but you graduated, and then ou te vin arrive move parce que te vle continuer to do. Talk about that. Ou te vle continuer to do toujours.
Yeah. Côté que moi te l'école là, ça me te vle apprendre nan, pas de gagner vraiment.
Nan zone nan.
Non, zone côté m'te ya. So moi te essayer faire recherche pour moi côté qui gagne li. L'aime garder moi ouais et l'école côté me vle aller 4 hours away. 4 hours away là, c'est un state qui vraiment close to state côté nous te ya. So bon bagay tant que par exemple moi vle jeune captain de yo essayer prêter attention sur ça me dire. Malgré moi I was in love with this beautiful lady, but I had to focus. Right? My school, man. So m'te prend ça vraiment au sérieux.
Yes.
So I was in love and I found my love, right? My heart. And then now I had to leave because of school. Right?
Right.
So moi t'es obligé à aller et moi parler avec eux, moi dire moi pour aller, pour faire place pour. Moi pour aller étudier, l'offre fini, pour capable venir. Right.
And at the time, it was just a promise, but we just did not see how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But we just kind of put it in the air, right?
Man, faut que ça va expliquer. Faut-il expliquer comment passer ça t'est pour les dans moment côté que moi pour aller.
Right. No, that was tough. Ou connaît takou long distance relationship en pile fois gagne un peu de monde comprend ça négativement. Simplement parce que gagne quelques idéologie d'elle ou bien quelques expériences l'autre monde fait déjà qui compte pas positif, right?
Yeah.
So of course logo moun ou avec li cap déplacer, everything cross your mind.
Gon question m'bral poser. I guess m'ba jam poser m'bral obligé poser li konya.
Oh Lord.
So te gen doute. So lem t'a pralé ou te gen doute ou penser que m'pa t'a sou encore ou bien relation t'a crasé. Qui ça que en l'espoir?
I think for me it was more, yes, things crossed my mind. I was still getting to know you. There's still it was a lot more to learn about you.
Yeah.
Of course things crossed my mind, but I think I found peace with it. Because not only what moved, but nous te parlé des différents plans for future plans.
Yes.
Of what we wanted to do. So that kind of eased my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was at ease. It was hard, but I think I was at ease with it.
Okay.
Because of the conversations that we had.
So te trust me?
Yes, I did.
So qui ça faut te trust me?
Because of who you are. I think the personality you spoke, the way you carried yourself you were a very respectful young man.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that drew me to you. You were very respectful. You stick to your word. Like if you say you're going to do something, you did a pretty good job carrying on with what you said and the promises you made. So I think I found peace. at peace with it. Because if you remember, we planned out things, you know, it was like, okay, you're going to move. This is what you hope to do with that and why you move. And this is how we're going to manage the relationship.
Yeah.
If you remember, we talked about how often we would see each other and the sacrifices we were willing to make to see each other. So it was pretty solid.
Un pile crier. Un pile relais. So,
You got to say that.
obligé. Pour dire mon numéro à la janvier.
Oh, yes. I did shed a few tears.
Okay.
I did.
So,
You did too.
Did I?
Yes, you
No.
did. It was hard.
Garçon va
You
crier.
know,
Come on. Garçon va crier.
that's not realistic. We're talking about wisdom now.
Yeah.
You have to cry sometimes.
Yeah.
You do have to cry sometimes.
Yes.
It was hard on both of us. It was really hard. But
Yeah.
I think what kept me, like I said, for me, it was the plans. I mean, it wasn't blank. You know, we talked about how this is gonna happen and how we're gonna manage it.
So, okay. Après, moi move. So, où était l'école? Et puis, so, qui ça qui te vient passer après?
Yeah. So après on fin move, moi était l'école. And then probably 6 months. Within 6 months after you move. But you were visiting often.
Yeah.
So tu venu vin visiter plus que mal visiter. I think tu visité one time, but tu toujours venu almost like every other weekend.
T'es toujours dans la route là depuis m'gen un deux jours off. Comprendre, c'est
Vin checker là ka.
c'est à checker parce que ou pas ka gagner un business, ou pas ka gagner un jardin. Faut pas brouser li à checker pour voir comment mauvais temps, comment l'appui, soleil a traité.
Ouais.
C'est comme ça, t'es toujours monté.
Right.
Comprendre? So malgré nous t'es dans longue distance, but nous t'es toujours
Where
each other often.
often enough.
Yes.
Right. And then within about 6 months after we move, we had a friend
Yeah.
who you share birthday month with. I think birthday nous 4 jours différence,
Yeah.
right? And then nous songe nous ta conversation côté zami ça sont zami qui quitte mi nan pile pour nous, li fait pile bagay pour nous. En peu nous te décidé ou te vinn avec une idéologie côté pour nous faire fête parce que mon ça son monde peut-être pas jamais faire fête pour lui.
Yeah.
En peu nous te décidé ensemble n'a organiser une fête
Yeah.
pour
C'est en
zami
fait, que nous t'ai annoncé pour nous capable faire l'autre bagaille.
ça. Right.
Parce que c'était fait zami, nous t'es obligé dire n'a fait zami.
Right, but the whole time
Yes.
you had other plans I did not know. So you had me plan my entire engagement party.
I had to, man. I had to speed up the process because I was by myself.
I know.
You know, so my beautiful lady, you know, 4 hours away. So
right.
I had to speed up the process to bring her home.
You did, because I was close to graduating. So you told me we're gonna do this party for this friend. Of course, here I am. So I put this whole party together, fit flyer, invite
was excited
people.
too.
I was excited. Invite people. And then the whole time I didn't know you spoke to my parents.
Yes.
I mean, you had met my parents before you
Yeah.
moved, so the relationship was good. But then when you moved, I mean, everything was good. And but for this party, I did not know that I was planning let me tell y'all, I did not know I was planning my own engagement party. You hear me?
Yeah.
So I planned the whole party, and then you came down for the party.
Yes.
And then when Lovini at the party, you proposed.
Yes.
Tell us about that. You gotta tell me why you had me plan my whole engagement party. I was excited.
Because I was home. Man, the pensée was the best way. Comprendre? Parce que l'offre m'a for the first time. Comprendre? So it's a lot of, thinking, trying to see.
Get it right.
Try to get it right. Comprendre? So, premièrement, moi fais maman connaît. Moi dis maman mais ça que parce que maman t'es là. Moi t'es obligé de dire mais ça que mes idées qui me gagnent. Comprendre? So mais ça que me le fait. Et puis c'est comme ça. Bague est acheté.
Oh, God.
Right? Et puis, qu'on y a la même, m'a try pour moi qui best time dans party. Hein? Et puis, moi, tant tout le monde, que tout le monde content. Et puis, le monde a fait manger. Danser, ouais, ça aussi. Puis, c'est là ça. Et moi, dit mot magic là. Et puis, you had no idea.
I had no idea.
Who'd you? Who'd you?
It was a total shock.
Yeah.
For me, like my mind wasn't
Parce que
there.
ou pas de connaître si ça t'a fait so quick.
Because you had just moved.
Yeah. Yeah. And would you marry me? What did you say?
What did I say? What did I say? I think I said yes.
Of course you said yeah. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you on this podcast right now with me.
Right.
Right? And so what happened after that?
After that, we started planning a wedding as soon as this happened. You know, the wedding was planned.
Yeah.
And but I graduated. So it was planning a wedding, getting ready to graduate. I graduated, but throughout the planning, nous venons décider que it'll be best for me to move closer to where you are. Parce que dans la zone côté nous t'es c'est plus en zone Timon collège, en plus fois l'offre fini collège, there's not much to do.
Yeah.
So nous even décidé we want to start our lives no new zone.
Yeah.
Côté. So we planned the wedding and then we got married.
Yeah. Got married and then
Yes.
And
we got married and then I moved. I finished school and then I moved over to where you were. It was a bigger city. It made more sense.
Now, the best part is, nous venons vivre dans yon.
Selkai. Again. Well, not again.
Not again. I mean,
nobody before some.
So,
now. Right. We were together again. Back together again after. So our whole engagement, you know what? I just realized that. Because the whole time we were engaged, we were in a long distance relationship.
Yes.
That is interesting. I never look at it like that.
Yeah.
And then when we got married, I moved over. I think from the honeymoon, I just flew.
Yeah. So now, the best part is, same bed, same house, right? So now.
Keep it cultural, Diego.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. This is who we are. Right. Well, what happened after that? I mean, we got married, started living together.
We got married, and then I think 1 year later. So they toujours dit comme ça, man. Let's enjoy this marriage, man. Let's enjoy this marriage. So,
right. And that's an advice for any young couple that is.
Tell them about it.
Newlyweds, just prends temps, enjoy mariage. Parce que me songe, when I was planning the wedding, mon professeur l'école là, me pral graduer, en pile dit me comme ça, l'école, mon professeur me connaît ma planifier mariage, right? Et puis me songe mon professeur qui dit conseil li ta ban moi, l'aime fin marier, enjoy mariage, mais don't try to have any kids right after, right? But he dit ça c'est juste un conseil moins qu'about. That doesn't mean you have to follow it. And I think that was one of the best advice. I ended up understanding that a little bit later. But si on jeune couple ou fait marier, just pas quitter pressure société a for do things so fast.
Yeah.
Right? Take your time. Be on your own journey. Get to know each other. Travel. Because things changes when you have children.
Say that again?
Travel. Yes, because when you have children, it becomes a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
And it's things that you're going to want to do, but you're going to be on their schedule.
Nous pouvons faire camper là parce que it's a lot to say, right? Senti que il y a d'autres bagages que nous capables réserver pour next episode.
Right.
Parce que, comment pour ça me dire ça? Nous pouvons venir avec un autre épisode côté que nous capables de parler plus, nous capables dire nous combien Timon et que nous gagnons. Et puis, as nous les wed, nous couple et mais comment quelques bagages pour faire qui est important.
Right, very.
Ou bien tout si une relation qu'on y a, right? Et on va penser pour entrer dans ça qui est le mariage là. So, nous gen quelques conseils pour.
Right.
Parce que, gen bagay nou wish ken nou pat fè. Pas ça?
Right. And et toujours bon tout pour prendre conseil dans même monde qui fait expérience là déjà.
Yes.
Parce que ça vient faire process là puis coûte pour juste tendre ou bien appliquer ça qui bon pour ou ça qui pas bon tout.
Yeah.
Don't use them.
Yeah, puis des fois nous excited. Right?
Right.
Nous excited pour nous al marier
Right.
parce que gen bagay nou pa même prêter attention.
That's true.
Et gen bagay tout si nous fè yo from the start and parcours la better.
Better. That's
Yes.
true. That's true.
So, et ça fait que n'a vini avec quelques conseils
Right.
et quelques bagages tout pour nous focus on.
Right. And that too bring us to what we plan on talking about in the next episode, right? The next episode is going to be talking about change, right? We're going to be talking to you about some of the changes that we went through and how change can affect your life. Because it's a couple of things you cannot control in life. It's time and change.
Yes.
Because there are things that happens around your life that you cannot change. You just have to accept.
Yes.
But there are ways that you can prepare for
Yes.
those changes. So that's what we're going to bring you the next episode so we could tell you more about ourselves, right? And some of the changes we've had to deal with and adjust to
Yes.
throughout this marriage. And it's been about 11 years now. We've been at this thing almost 11 years.
Almost 11 years.
Years, right.
So that's why we have a lot to say, guys. We have a lot to say.
Yes.
Please come back. Gen bagay ke nou pral share avec ou. We're gonna do our best
Right.
to see if we can help you avoid some mistakes.
Right. And especially if you come from a background where you don't have a lot of examples, right? You don't have a lot of people that you could look up to and see, people that have done this that you can go to, right? To come here, we'll talk to you.
This is it.
This is it, right?
We're gonna try to be your mentor
Right. And your guide.
and your guide, your GPS, everything.
Right. Definitely.
So keep coming back. We're gonna try to help you.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Right.
Promise.
Right. And
So-
like always, we want to leave you with something positive in every episode, right? So we want to leave you with this thought today. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You got some?
Well, this week I want you to think about what you want. What you want.
Yes.
I think this is one of the things that we go back and forth about, for the young people, for people that even, it doesn't matter how old you are, but sometimes it doesn't matter where you are in life. You have to sit back and say, what do I want?
Yeah.
And what do I want doesn't necessarily apply to anything.
Yes.
It could be life. It could be career. It could be family. It could be health.
Yes.
Just what do you want?
Yeah.
Ask yourself that this week. Comment below. Let us know. Answer this question to yourself.
I got
what
something
do
to
I
say.
want? Go ahead.
Don't force anything. If it's not working, it's just not working.
It's not working. That's true.
Okay? If it's not working,
It's
just not working. Don't force it.
Right.
Because you have to listen to your heart.
Right.
Listen to your heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
That's what I got.
Right. Definitely. Well, thank you for tuning in to our story. We enjoy sharing our lives with you. We have so much more to share with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, right? And listen to this podcast everywhere podcast is available.
Yes.
We hope to see you next week in the next episode.
Yes. We want your support.
Definitely.
Please share. Tell somebody about this podcast. Share it with your family, your friends, so that's how you can help us.
Right.
And you can support this channel.
Right. And just like that, this is a wrap for today's episode. We'll see you next time in the next episode.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.